this evening. Before we call the roll, I want to make sure everybody knows that members of the public who desire to address the board on any topic related to board work must sign in the roster that's in the back of the room before 6:30 p.m. Although we may well be done by 6:30, but before 6:30 p.m. Roll call, please.
Okay. Ms. Gonzalez?
Here.
Ms. Lee? Here. Mrs. Longmire?
Here.
Mr. Siebert?
Here.
Mrs. Torres?
Mrs. Torres is excused. I understand she will be joining us a little bit later this evening, but for now she is excused.
Okay. Ms. Thompson?
Here.
Ms. Wright?
Ms. Wright is also excused. She had another event at school to attend tonight, so she can't be with us.
Okay.
So thank you very much. We will move on to item 1.2, the Pledge of Allegiance and the mission statement. And I believe we have some of our Sierra Stallions here tonight to do our pledge and the mission statement. So I will ask Brandon Guzman to come up and lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance. Go Stallions.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Thank you, Brandon. It's kind of different to have high school kids. We have bigger kids. Sometimes we have kindergartners come, and it's a little walking through it. So, and then we have Lena Metzner here to read our mission statement. Lena?
Harrison School District 2 will graduate college and career-ready students with the knowledge, skills, attitudes, and behaviors to personally succeed, contribute to the common good.
Great, thank you so much. Thank you all. We're so happy to have you here tonight. We can't wait to hear all about what you've been up to lately. But now we will move on to item 2. You all have the agenda in front of you. Have you had an opportunity to review it?
Yes.
I'll entertain a motion to adopt the agenda.
I move to adopt the agenda as stated. Second.
Any discussion? No. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? No. The agenda is adopted. Oh, I'm sorry. I forgot certificates. Thank you, Dr. Spencer. We have certificates for our 2 students. Thank you. I see you. So now we can move on to the star of the evening, Sierra High School. Item number 3, showcasing schools. We have Dr. Aaron Griffin, the principal of Sierra High School. Welcome. Oh, come on, team.
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
Thank you, President Gonzalez, school board members, and Dr. Spencer for having us here this evening. Thank you, everyone, for being here. So at Sierra High School, our theme this year for 15-16 was the urgency is now. I do apologize ahead of time. This is 34 slides. It is very difficult to put all the passion and love we have for Sierra in 15 minutes, but we're going to try. I promise, Dr. B, it might go 22. We're going to try. So here's our agenda. We're going to go and move forward to save 3 seconds. Sierra High School vision. Sierra High School is a dedicated community where socially conscious, lifelong learners pursue excellence in our every endeavor. Our administrative team. Once again, I'm Dr. Griffin. I'm the principal. Right here we have Mr. Jamil Thompson, assistant principal of Freshman Academy. We have Mr. Sean Wetherill, assistant principal of the junior class. We have Ms. Nicole Paxton, assistant principal over the senior class. Our dean of students and our athletic director, we have a very important game tonight, so that's why they're not here. We're playing Canyon City in a pivotal matchup to make sure we get in the top 8 for the playoffs. So that's where they're at. I want to point out the way we did this slide right here. If you can see our admin team and our counseling team, there's a reason why we put the slide in this way, is because this is how our hierarchy works at Sierra High School. I am the principal, I am the top of the hierarchy, but the way we hold our meetings is in a circle. In the middle of that circle is the why, which we're going to get to a little later. But we basically run it just like the Knights of the Round Table, where when we're in our meetings together talking about anything that's wrong in Sierra, everyone has equal say, but of course, I have the final yes and no. Principal's Cabinet. Every campus has a BLT, a Building Leadership Team. However, this year at Sierra, I changed the name to Principal's Cabinet. And the reason for that is I discovered in my first year at Sierra, when we kept saying the Building Leadership Team said, it caused a lot of teachers to continue to watch the leadership team do all the work. So in order for us to build capacity of the rest of the teachers on campus, what we did is we call it the Principal's Cabinet, and then we formed all the teachers that were all leaders at Sierra, not just the Building Leadership Team. So this is the cabinet that talks about what's going on at Sierra, but everybody on campus is a leader. Here's our student population. This year, our enrollment dropped about 50 students to 787, and this year we actually have more boys than girls at Sierra High School. Last year we had more girls. Our special ed population is right around 13%. CLDE is 13%. Our avid population is 11%. STS is what's called senior to sophomores. That's one of the strands for GT Pathways. That's where we have students who are taking college courses, and by the time they leave Sierra, they're sophomores. And we have 30 GT students, which is 3.81%. And this year, for the first time at Sierra, more than half the school is in advanced placement courses. Our population pretty much stayed consistent, but I want to point out that this year, our Hispanic population is 41%, our African American population is 29%. Last year, they were within 2% of each other. So this year, Sierra is actually growing more than the Hispanic population. Certified staff, we have 54 certified staff members, 10 instructional paraprofessionals. We have 2 math fellows because we are a school of promise. Our 5-year certified staff attrition rate, this is very important to us last year at Sierra. If you go through the trends, we saw 46% of the staff being new or being replaced, 52%, 36%, 37%. Last year, we only had 18% attrition rate in Sierra, which is good for us because that was one of our targets as a leadership team, and we attribute that to what's called distributive leadership. That means that we're delegating the leadership responsibility and accountability to other people on campus and not just the administrative team. So our teachers have a lot of say in a lot of things we do at Sierra High School. Now we're getting to the cold hard facts. Whenever we talk about data at Sierra, we call them the cold hard facts. And with that, we're going to have Mr. Thompson and Ms. Paxton.
So when we analyzed our problem of practice last year, we only had our 3-year TCAP trend data, and based on what you see up here, we were the 18th percentile in the state for reading, and that was a major focus for us in developing the UIP and some of the major improvement strategies to include professional development surrounding text-based and evidence-based writing. With regards to CVMs, you can probably a little difficult to see, but the top is the 2015-16 year, and below that is the 14-15 year. There are some flat trends in performing arts, world languages, and writing, but there are positive trends in science and visual arts. And lastly, we have our PARC results. We just received this information in December of 2015, and so our UIP, although written several months ago, we were already looking at how we're going to improve reading and writing and math based on these particular items, text and evidence-based writing, reading across the curriculum, RTI, emphasis on multicultural, inclusive curriculum. But what we've done now that we've received the PARC results is create SMART goals amongst our departments, make sure that we have very specific professional development, and also for any students that did not meet in PARC for their assessment scores, whether it be in math or in English, everyone who did not meet, whether it's high, mid, or low categories, are now receiving some type of intervention course or interventions in their classrooms or other specialized courses that they can take to emphasize the importance of testing and their achievement. This is Gina Thompson.
Good evening, everybody.
Good evening.
So we're going to talk about our AC trend data. As you see, in 2013, we were sitting at 17.3. For 2014, we were sitting at 18.1. And we had a dip this year, 2015 to 17. State average in which we are behind, in which we're trying to actively engage our students so we can meet the state requirement of 2030. So this is what we have been doing in our classrooms, across our classrooms, to ensure that we're trying to make our students progress. We've been doing AC embedded across the curriculum, Saturday boot camps, academic language acquisition daily, ACT prep, and ACT AP prep, ACT prep course, and ACT word of the day. So the word of the day is sent out every morning by Ms. Nicole Sherman. She sends it out, and the students are familiar with every word that they have in the morning. All right, so we do that every day. So advanced placement now. I'm just going to be brief about this. This is our first year of having the Legacy Foundation help us with our AP program. So we're a little bit behind. This is something new that we're doing this year. I went to training this past summer in Austin, Texas, and Dr. Borhanzo and CIA sent me to AP, so I learned a lot of information about AP and how AP should run and what AP should be doing. And this year, I think we're making some progress as it relates to our students taking AP and dealing with the course load of being able to work with the demands of AP. So that is something that we're constantly trying to engage our students in and engage our students in better. So we have 180 students took the AP exam, with 41 passing with a 3 or higher in 2014. 147 students took the AP exam last year. The overall AP average is 1.566, down from the previous year. And I don't know if we sat down and teased it out of why that occurred, but I want to say it occurred because our expectations as far as the students inside the classroom, ensuring that they are able to carry that work or able to do the workload what AP requires. We had 59 students that scored 2 versus 68 in 2013-14. We had more students scored 5 versus a 1 in the previous year, and 7 students scored 4 versus 5 in 2014. And 33% increase in students passing the AP exam, 14-15 versus 13-14. And that's some of the things that we have been doing for our AP program. We have a weekly tutorial. So what we do with a weekly tutorial, we have tutorials every Wednesday in the library. And when we first started doing that, because the students, I don't know if we got the students to buy in, but as we got the students to buy in, I met with the teacher, met with the students. So on Wednesdays, it's continually growing to more students and more students. They're coming after school 3:30 to 4:30, and they sit and work with their counterparts. And the one good thing about it is we got to give them some peace ourselves every time. So
Yeah. Yes.
they're there to eat, but they are doing a really good job, and I'm very proud of it. I'm very proud of Ms. Thompson over there. They're all doing a good job coming to the tutorials on Wednesday. Like I said, we have the Legacy Grant, and we have the weekend. We got one coming up this weekend at Harrison High School, where we share with Mindy and them over at Harrison. They go over there this Wednesday, this Saturday, next Saturday, February 22nd. They go over there for English boot camp. So they learn. And Mr. Fork, I gotta give him real props because he had 57 students, and about 52 out of 57 students showed up for him on Saturday for the AP session. And the math classes are doing well, and the science classes are doing well. So a lot of students are taking advantage of the AP sessions on Saturday. So I'm very proud of them for doing that as well. We're still on academic language, AP and ACT essay prompts, and ACT word of the day. I know I'm getting along with other thing too. However, we have, for our population, we have a lot of we have 41% Hispanics and 29% African Americans. Now that Legacy people, they did a data analysis of our school, and our data reflects our student population. So you will want more students in AP classes of Hispanic nature and African Americans. So that is our population. We have a lot more students of African descent and Hispanic inside our AP classes. That's a good thing. Okay. Since Okay, so just talk about freshman academy things we're doing differently this year or this semester. We have 8 freshman academy teachers, and I had a conversation with my Bill leadership teacher around Christmas time, before Christmas, maybe first week of December. And we talked, and she brought to me a book about standards-based grading. So I read the standards-based grading, and I said, oh, wow, that's a good thing to try to implement within our school. So the standards-based grading deals with you want students to learn math. You have a student that has an A, but that don't mean they master the content because you put so much else into them having a grade. You put homework, you put whether you like them or not. You have a whole lot of things that's going into why a student has a grade. So what we did was I got the book for all the rest of my freshman academy teachers, and they read it. And so now we're going standards-based grading this semester. Now it's a mindset shift that we're trying to change with the teachers to get them to understand that you're not giving the kid a grade because you are just because you're giving them opportunities to master the content. You just give them opportunities to be successful. You're not giving them anything. They're still working for it, but you're just giving them opportunities to master the content. And that's the big shift that we got to get our teachers to do is mastering content, mastering STEM. Now, also what came out of this is advisory period. I sat down and talked with Ms. Lance with my team over here about advisory. So we took the credits down to 6 classes and put an extra class for advisory. So they have a 7th period that's an advisory period. So what we do during advisory is Monday we have goal setting and grade check. So the students are making goals for what they want to do or how they see their grades. So if they got F's, they're gonna look at all the grades, grade check, and then work for goal setting for next week when we come back the following Monday to see if they improved on their goals. So the kids are actually monitoring the goals themselves. The teachers aren't monitoring our progress in the goals. The kids are monitoring the goals. Okay, so we got Tuesday is reading, writing, and test prep. We got community building, restorative justice. On Wednesday, we got Thursday and Friday is mathematics. And I can stop talking.
Thank you, Mr. Thompson. Good evening. I'm Sean Weather, one of the assistant principals at Sierra. I get to do the FYI on Sierra High. First, we have our value promise statement. When you choose Sierra High School, you're choosing a community school steeped in academic and athletic tradition where your unique talents and gifts are exposed, examined, and explored, while earning college credits on campus and becoming a community leader, innovator, and socially conscious thinker. Your opportunities for limitless are as limitless as you are immersed in advanced placement, concurrent enrollment courses, AVID, ABP, and the Gateway Pathways, and all the collaboration with our highly qualified, dedicated, and skilled faculty and staff. We are Stallion Strong. Did you know in 2014-15, 100% of our graduating seniors received college acceptance letters and $1.2 million in scholarships earned, 80% graduation rate. Over 700 college credits were earned by Sierra seniors. We had state qualifiers in wrestling, track, and basketball. Girls tennis team competed in the regional tournament. 3 Stallions signed letters of intent to play college basketball. 2 state educators of the year. We had an assistant principal and one of our teachers. Did you know in 15-16, 15 students earned a combined 117 college credits by taking the CLEP Spanish test, but 1 participant earned the maximum amount of credits that you can earn on that. 12 juniors took the PSAT exam. 10 of the 12 qualified for potential merit scholarships. We have 7 foreign exchange students at Sierra.
Hi, I'm Lena Metzner, and I'm from Germany.
And?
Jill Cornelius, I'm from Germany.
And?
Maria Gutierrez, and I'm from Mexico.
Thank you very much, ladies.
Welcome.
Oh, now I lost my spot.
Yes.
Of course.
ACLC, 4th bullet, okay. 7 students presented at the ECOC. I'll come back to that. Come back in the next slide or two. 3 students interviewed for the board internships. 1 was selected. Yes, Jennifer.
Yay, Jennifer.
Yes. And 2 students interviewed for the entry to MIT. 1 student is being interviewed for restorative justice internship, and students embarked on the PSA hashtag Stallion Strong initiative. And back to back, last year we won it, and then again this year we won the Drive Smart Championship. Also, did you know 11 faculty and staff are Sierra High School alumni? 57% of our student body enrolled in advanced placement courses is a first for Sierra. Freshmen are now taking AP courses. 9 Sierra seniors were accepted at Adams State University on college application night, where they just did absolute, we'll take you right now. Over 50 seniors have already received college acceptance letters, and 2 seniors have enlisted in the military. 12 students are going to the Amazon rainforest, summer in 2016 with Mr. Thompson. And we have the NFL Super
We're
Bowl.
excited about it.
Yeah. NFL Super Bowl 50 on the 50 recipient is honoring a Sierra Stallion at the Super Bowl champions, Aaron Smith, which was 1994 Pittsburgh Steeler. And we remember back not too long ago, Mr. Thompson received Administrator of the Month for November. And Coach Mark Cooper was named Coach of the Year for the USA Metro's Wrestling Tournament. Also, we have our staff is engaged in these following professional development opportunities. We have critical reading and writing strategies, one-to-one technology training, Socratic seminar training, Cornell Notes implemented in training, cultural competency training through Dr. Griffin, capturing Sierra hearts, restorative justice, DBQ, text and evidence-based writing, early intervention training, co-teaching, and then we're doing some book studies with Start With Why, The Art of Teaching, The 360-Degree Leadership, and Pedagogy of the Oppressed. And we have among our staff lifelong learning that we've got. Robert Bentley, he's a current concurrent enrollment professor. He's earning a master's degree in history. Alexa Cord has just begun her doctoral study. Megan McDaniel, science teacher, is getting her master's in the nature of natural science. Mr. Thompson is working on his doctorate, and our own Dr. Griffin just earned his PhD from Texas A&M University, College Station, December 18th, 2015. And did you know, citywide educational leadership, we're educating children of color conference. We had 3 faculty and staff presenters, 7 students presenters. The cultural competency, they presented on cultural competency, robotics, parent and student advocacy, and concurrent enrollment, 5 sessions in total. And then the African American Youth Leadership Conference, we have 3 faculty and staff presenters and 1 student presenter. And the cultural competency and pedagogy were 3 sessions. And I think we've got a picture of that where Jamila Thompson is presenting at the Jamila. Okay, I'm gonna get this one right though. Jamila Taylor as presenting their conference just not too long ago. Which brings us to the Unified Improvement Plan.
I promise we'll close very quickly. Thank you, team. Yes, sir. Okay, so what we developed last year with our USMIP, we have our UIP, but what we did with our student management plan, this is Unified Student Management Improvement Plan. This year, we're going to change that to the Unified Student Leadership Improvement Plan. Our goals were to decrease suspensions by 25%, decrease referrals, and these are some of the things we put in place. So one was our 5 to 1 initiative, hashtag Stallion Strong. That's 5 positives to 1 negative. So So what our students do, anytime they hear something negative about Sierra or something happens negative in school, they automatically start posting 5 positive posters or posting something positive in social media to contradict the negative. We had our cultural competency series that we've already mentioned. We've already done parts 1 through 4. This semester we're starting with part 5, except this time we're actually going to have staff members doing these presentations themselves versus with us presenting them. This is one of our trainings. We had 3 restorative justice trainings. 2 were for staff. 1 was for students. There were what we call rethinkers. So the restorative practices, that's something we started right around January, and it's already making a difference at Sierra. So the result of all the discipline and all the planning and all the training we've been doing, our overall discipline is down 426 events versus last year at the same time. That's a decrease of 54%. Also, our suspensions are down 45%. The goal is 25. We're already exceeded that by 20%. Our ISS, students going to in-school suspension, is down 60%. So this means that students are in class more than they are out of class versus last year at this same time. And our attendance rate has improved by 2.5%. Our next level of work. Our theme for next year, 2016-17, is Let Our Light Shine. Last year, my first year as principal, that was survival. This year is striving. Next year, we thrive. So we're building on everything we do every year. So our UIP for 2016-17 is pretty similar to what we already have in place, except now we're adding in Bernadette Lambert's trainings that she's been doing with principals. We're adding that in already. We're going to continue our cultural competency series, and we're going to continue what we call the Sierra Hope Cycle, and we're starting to focus on Maslow's hierarchy of needs. So all the things that we talked about that we have going on in Sierra, they add up to what's called the Sierra Hope Cycle. We had conversations with our staff, and we determined that some of our students just don't have hope. And the reason why they don't have hope is because they haven't seen certain examples in order to move forward. So we began to put things in place to show our students that these are the things that you are capable of. And once we get all those things in place, it adds up to the quality of instruction, the relationships, the relevance, and the rigor. When we talked about at Sierra, what came first, the relevance or the rigor? And they said the relevance comes before rigor, because if it's not relevant, students aren't going to learn. And then one of our staff members said, actually, we should put relationships ahead of that, because we have to build our relationships to find out what is relevant. And once we have those 2 things in place, students will learn. And that is a part of Maslow's hierarchy of needs, as we see here. And there's a quote here: in teaching, you can't do the Bloom stuff until you take care of the Maslow stuff. So we have to make sure that our students are meeting these things. And at Sierra High School, I can say that we're right here in the middle as a campus as a whole. We're getting that sense of belonging, we're staying strong, and now we're creating that learning environment where students are able to keep their self-esteem and take risks. And that is the end. We did have a quick video that we would like to show very quickly.
I have the gavel, so I'm going to say you can play the video. Very nice. That was fantastic. Thank you so much, Dr. Griffin, and your team. Talked really fast, so we appreciate that. Good job. I did ask Dr. Spencer to load your slides into our management system because there's a lot of really good information in there that I'd like to have for my own reference in there. So I did ask him to load those up in there for us. And I guess the only question that I have for you tonight is what time is the game?
7.
It's at 7 o'clock. So in other words, we got to be finished by 7 o'clock. Huh? No. We might be. We might be. Does anybody here have any questions for Dr. Griffin or his team?
You guys gave good information, so I think covered it pretty thoroughly, so I appreciate it.
I saw some pictures on there. I do have just one question. I saw some pictures on there of some of the restorative justice training that you all have done, and I noted that you've been doing some of the restorative justice training during freshman advisory, which I think is a fantastic idea, reserving that time, especially for that crowd. And it's been a tough year, I think, for a lot of the freshmen and sophomores coming in. So have you been seeing some positive outcomes from spending, one period a week focused on that? The microphone.
Yes. So we spend about one period a week in Freshman Academy, as you indicated, but what we're doing is we're actually embedding it across the entire campus.
Mm-hmm.
So what's happening now, we've had some of the conferences ourselves with students. We've had it among staff members. The team is now starting to work with training staff on what's called restorative dialogue, because we're using those inside of our attendance meetings now, and we're using those inside of our evaluations after we conduct our spot observations. We're using that type of dialogue with our staff as well. So instead of saying, here's restorative justice, this is what we do with it, we're actually embedded across everything. So we're now either beginning or ending our faculty meetings with connection circles. Our PMCs are going to start using connection circles to begin or end theirs. Our students are starting to see it more in their classrooms. Freshman Academy were the first ones that started, but now teachers are starting to use it to talk about why you're not turning in your homework. So they'll have a connection circle with 5 students or maybe the whole class to just have an academic conversation about homework. Inside the PLCs, we use it to talk about data. We'll put data up and we'll have a connection circle literally about the data and have that conversation. So we're taking it not just from a behavioral point of view, we're using it as an academic point of view and just making it just across the curriculum period.
Wow. It's transformative. Fantastic.
I have one question. Is student government in on that as well?
Not yet.
Not yet.
What we did is we had our students, our rethinkers, get trained. We have to come together as a restorative justice team, the faculty and the students. And once we come together and decide how this process is going to look, that's when we're going to start training the student government and start training different partners of teachers. Because the plan, the way they've explained it, they want one person to be the go-to that says we're going to have a restorative justice meeting. I would rather not do that, because if it was only going to come to me, then there wouldn't be a reason to have anyone else trained.
Mm-hmm.
So I wanted to the point to where if a student says we need to have a connection circle, or we need to have a meeting, that they can go to any representative on campus and have that. So once we meet as a team, we're going to come together and map that process.
Great. Thank you. Any more questions?
Jennifer, do you have anything to add, being a Sierra student down there? I know you've talked positively about some of the things that are going on the campus. How are things going? Oh, you don't have a microphone. There you go.
Yeah, I'm really excited. I really love all the different programs we have going for, like the PASA program is my favorite. That's what I'm in, and it's me and like 10 other students that got chosen for it, and we're gonna go like 10 days over the summer to Peru and study in the Amazon rainforest and talk to the people who live there and donate items and interact with that. Crossing that cultural boundary is going to be amazing, and I love that Sierra is doing that, and I kind of wish more people knew about it. So
now you have to explain that acronym again.
Oh yeah, okay. So okay. So PASA is Peruvian Amazon Science Study A. abroad.
There you
That'll
go.
Thank you.
Fantastic.
And I want to add something to that real quick. 8 of those students are young ladies. And what's
I saw
important about that is that we are actually getting more young ladies interested in STEM. And as a result of those young ladies, now we have more students, female students, asking to get into those different sciences. So I thought that was very critical that 8 of the 12 students are young ladies trying to grow.
Exciting.
Well, thank you so much. We appreciate you coming, and excellent job. And we look forward to seeing how things go this year and next. Thank you. So moving on to superintendent's report. This is not an action item on our part. This is an information item. 4.1, the automatic renewal of our agreement with our superintendent. There is a portion of Dr. Spencer's contract that says that he's got to remind us officially by putting this item on a board agenda every year. So this is that appearance. And there's information in the in your agenda packet about it. Does anybody on the board have any questions or concerns about that? Okay. Good. So moving on to public comment, we don't have anybody signed up on our sign-in sheet for public comment. So moving on to number 6, monitoring board performance. You've got in your packet the annual work plan. Has everybody had a chance to take a look? We in the packet you have both the 2015-2016 annual work plan, which wraps up in what, April? I think it was March or April. And then also, because we're almost to the end of the year, we have the 2016-2017 plan. Does anybody have any additions or changes to the work plan that they'd like to make?
I think we made them all.
Yeah, I
Probably
think
at
we
the
talked.
work-
Yeah,
at the work session.
We talked about it at the work session. What we have coming up this week is, what is it? We have the annual Boys and Girls Club Youth of the Year. Boys and Girls Club is an important partner for us, for all of our schools, and they have their annual Youth of the Year award ceremony. And this says Broadmoor, but it's actually at the Pinery. And it's always an exciting and inspiring evening. And then the 25th and the 26th, Joyce and I will be attending the CASB Winter Legislative Conference up in Denver. Please pray that it doesn't snow like it did last year. Really get up there. You were there. I got there for part of the time. It was terrible. So,
We're supposed to be done with snow according to Puxacani Fields.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I hope that's the case. Any other questions about the annual work plan? No? Okay. 6.2 legislative updates. I only have one item to talk about. A couple of months ago, I let you all know that that our own Senator Merrifield from here in Colorado Springs had intended to introduce a bill relating to the way that he presented it to me when I talked to him was it was a bill that was going to limit school districts' discretion including student performance data in educator evaluations. We had some real concerns that we would be getting a directive from the state legislature as to how our system was going to work, and I had some objections to that. Well, apparently it is scheduled to be heard in Senate Education on Thursday, day after tomorrow. And it has been significantly changed from the way that he wanted to introduce it originally. Everything that I've read says that it's considered to be a long shot and that the governor would probably veto it anyway, even if it was passed. And that even if it does pass, that it is a lot of the requirements have been changed to give districts discretion on how they handle student performance data in educator evaluations rather than being prescriptive and telling local districts what they have to do. So my concerns are significantly mitigated from earlier this session. So, other than that, everything that I'm hearing is that the struggle over school funding is still going on and not likely to be resolved anytime soon, and neither will the hospital. So, does anybody else have anything else to add under legislative updates? Talk about?
Our lobbyists are actually working with, I don't remember the committee that they're working with, but the legislators are putting forth a bill with regards to suspension for students under 8. And we are questioning their collection of data sources, particularly the data that they gather from CDE. So right now, that's where the world is living, is in that data collection
Yeah.
that they have used to even come up with why is there a need to legislate student suspension for students that are 8 or younger. The major issue that pretty much has come about is the disparities between the ethnic groups. But again, it goes back to, is the data as reliable as we anticipate the data to be?
And so this is CDE that has collected that data.
CDE collected the data and presented it to legislators.
Do you know the bill number?
I do not, but I can.
Yeah, can you send it? Yeah, I'm curious to see that. And it is in committee?
No. They are actually just in conversation about the language that will go.
Okay.
So they reached out to superintendents to see if we would do an agreement, not an agreement, what would we change. And so that's where the conversation is.
And so it would be in the direction of limiting suspensions of students under 8?
If not having issues to totally eliminate suspension for students.
Okay. All right. Thank you. Anything else alarming? At this point, we're just trying to keep bad things from happening. So, anybody else have any questions or comments? We might be done in time for basketball, you all. So moving on to item number 7, the superintendent consent agenda. We have 7.1, the personnel report, and 7.2, the financial statement. Does anybody have you all had a chance to review those reports?
Yes.
Are there any comments or questions? I don't have any. No? Okay, I will entertain a motion to approve the superintendent consent agenda.
I move to approve the superintendent consent agenda statement.
Mr. Siebert moves and Mrs. Longmire seconds. Any discussion?
No.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. And the almost last item, moving on to the board consent agenda, we have 8.1, the approval of the minutes from our 2 combined work session and special meetings on, no, I'm sorry, just on 1. No, we just have the January 14th. I didn't think I'd read 2. The minutes from that meeting, and then 8.2, the OE monitoring reports that we discussed at our last work session meeting. And just a note for the record, the agenda includes OEs 2, 7, 9, and 11, the monitoring reports, which are what we will be adopting tonight. On the agenda, OE8, the indicators report, is included on the agenda item, but we do not need to approve that one. So the motion would be to approve OEs, the monitoring reports for OE 2, 7, 9, and 11. Any other questions or discussion about the OE reports that we talked about last time? had extensive discussion.
I think that's why we don't have any
Yeah, I
questions.
think we're done with those. Okay, so I'll entertain a motion to approve the board consent agenda.
I move to approve the board consent agenda as stated.
Stated or about the.
Oh,
yeah,
yes,
we did.
as amended.
You're right,
Yeah,
thank you.
Thank you. Do you
I-
change your motion?
Yeah, I will change my motion and I move to approve the board consent agenda as amended.
Any discussion?
No.
So Mrs. Longmire moved and Mr. Siebert seconded the board consent agenda. Approval of the board consent agenda as amended. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries unanimously. We're done. Y'all. We are adjourning here at 6:46. Thank you all for coming.